Greetings, my Israelite brothers and sisters, heirs, joint heirs, adopted, grafted, natural, spiritual, however you may come. I know it's unusual for me to check in at this particular time, but I'm checking in on my way someplace. And I thought I would just touch base with everybody. So I hope that this message finds you well and prosperous. I titled this Biblical Stories Series. And let me tell you what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be, over the next couple of weeks, talking about different biblical stories because there's a message in these stories. And how you doing, Lady Sandy? I hope everything's well with you this morning. There's always a message in these biblical stories, and I wanted to go into sharing that. This is a good season to do that because we won't be talking about Passover or anything like that, because in about 3 weeks from now, we're going to be getting into the Feast of Trumpets and what that's all about. But the biblical stories, there is a message. And the reason why I'm bringing it up, because most of you that follow me and are subscribers, you're not used to me talking about biblical stories. I'm usually talking about the law or something that of that nature. So I give you an example. This past Sabbath, I brought up Naaman and how he was a captain. He was a very powerful, needed person. It talked about all of his accolades, and then it says, but he was a leper. And when I did that story and read it several times, the word but is a conjunction. It's a word that when you have a series of things that you group that can identify, but then there's a condition or there's a but. On the other hand is another way of using that word. But on the other hand. So you have Nathan, who was all of this stuff. A captain, he was a person that was a warrior. He was the king's man, so to speak. But on the other hand, he was a leper. And a lot of us have situations in our lives that there's an on the other hand, or but, and you'll find things that people have in their lives that maybe only you see a group of stuff, but on the other hand, I give you an example. You see somebody and that you are attracted to, and they're a nice looking person. They have a good job. They are in a management or supervisory position. They have a nice home. They cook good, but they are abusive. You follow me what I'm saying? So that changes everything. But on the other hand, they are abusive. So all of that good stuff that you name, but on the other hand, and a lot of people have on the other hands in their life. We don't know what they are. You don't know what they are. You see people for what you see them. You see them as they are. But on the other hand, there's just one thing that just can disrupt all of that. So Naaman, when you read that story in the book of Kings, he had a lot of stuff going for him. But he was a leper. On the other hand, he was a leper. And that kind of changes the situation. So, one way to look at that story, when you read it as a life lesson, is the fact that people have other hands or conditions that's in their life that you may or may not see. And it's important to look at that and deal with that. So, the prophet came and told him to wash in the most dirtiest water in all the region, dip himself 7 times. And he walked away angry. And his complaint was, this is a prophet. He could have struck his hands, and, as I discussed the other day. But he wanted me to go dip down in this water 7 times, the most dirtiest water. And they asked him, they said, well, if he would have asked you to do this, or that, would you not have done it? He said, yeah. They said, well, why not do this? Why not just be obedient to what the guy is asking you to do? And so he said, you know what, let me go do it. And he did. He went to go wash and dipped himself 7 times, and he ended up being healed of his leprosy. It seems like you can tell a person, you got so much stuff going for you, why don't you go to counseling and get help? There could be, and that other, on the other hand, it could be anything. They could be, they have a college degree, they have a profession, they have a good job, they make good money, they are attractive to you, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. They're attractive to you. And they have a good profession. But they are an alcoholic. You see what I'm saying? So that changes. That's where I can pick up things from that type of story. But he was a leper. It changes. It just wipes everything out. It really wipes all of it. It can take one bad thing that can wipe everything else good out. That quick. Just like that. And when you read that story, it names several positive things about Nathan. Several positive things about Nathan. And then there's one. Just list one. And in life, all it takes is just one thing to wipe several things out. And we find that in the scriptures. We find the same thing in the scriptures. So my advice would be, deal with that one thing. Don't let that one thing that's in your life haunt you, because it will take away from everything else. If you got a lot going on for you, but you got a temper, but they got a temper, it's just that one thing that hinders a lot of people that we have to deal with. And that's what I recommend that we get from this lesson. Deal with that one thing. And nobody knows. Sometimes nobody will ever know what that one thing in your life is. But when it comes up, it'll wipe everything out. So deal with it now. Deal with those things now. It could be an addiction. It could be a lot of different things. Who knows what the on the other hand is in your life? Who knows? But deal with it. Deal with it. Don't run away from it. And when an opportunity comes, that's the other thing I get from that story. When an opportunity comes to deal with it, it may be a non-traditional way of dealing with the issue. It doesn't matter if you have to do something, because what Nathan had to do was something non-traditional, and then once he was obedient, he became healed. So I just want to leave that with you today. I'm going to be sharing a couple of those things like that with you through the remainder of the week. Peace, shalom, we'll talk soon.